It was here at the House of Lords in the early hours of Saturday the 8th of October 1831 that the Parliamentary Reform Bill was thrown out by the peers of the realm. Amongst those opposing the bill was the ultra-Tory 4th Duke of Newcastle, the owner of Nottingham Castle. The Reform Bill was so upsetting to Tory peers like Newcastle because it threatened to interfere with what they regarded as their property right. In other words, the right which they enjoyed as a great landowner and possessor of property in constituencies and towns across Britain to have a say in the representation of who should sit as that town's MP. The second thing that the Reform Bill promised to do was to extend the vote, the right to vote, to many more people than had enjoyed it previously, notably to anyone who had property worth £10 per annum. This extended the vote not to everybody, not universally in a democratic fashion, but would have included many more property owners than had previously enjoyed that right. Nottingham already enjoyed the right to return 2 members of Parliament, but even here there was a fierce debate about the nature and type of parliamentary reform that should be passed. Nottingham was governed by a corporation, the forerunner of our modern town council, and heading this was the mayor, the alderman and the councilman. The vote resided in anyone that was admitted as a freeman of the borough, as well as those who held property outright, the so-called freeholders. But giving the right of freemanship was a form of patronage, and this meant that the corporation had its own interests to defend. In 1830, a political union was formed in Nottingham, principally to campaign for the right to vote in secret, the so-called secret ballot. This, in fact, never came to pass in the 1832 Reform Act, although it did come into law 40 years later. The issue about voting in secret, as opposed to in public, meant that it was a private act, rather than one that was shown openly to everybody. So if you enjoyed the right to vote, and you did vote, before 1872 everybody knew who and how you had voted, and this made it susceptible to bribery and corruption. The Houses of Parliament themselves were subjected to a great fire in October 1834. This time not as with Nottingham Castle, the outcome of design, but as a result of accident. Nevertheless, the fact that democracy and Parliament continues to sit here in the heart of London reminds us how central it has been in the long struggle for democratic rights, which has been such a notable part in our history.